Okay, so I'm gonna do a fursuit review, the boy, and I'm gonna kind of take my time with this. So it might be in a couple different parts because I don't know how much storage my phone has. But first of all, I just kind of want to go through something. So the fursuit maker is Furry Machine. I commissioned him back in June or July of last year. And originally, when I commissioned him, I was just going to get a partial done of him. And he said that he was going to have the fursuit done probably by December. And then there were some issues because I was going to get a friend of mine, or an ex-friend of mine, to make the bodysuit for him. Because they were living with me and my partner at the time. And things fell through with that, so I asked Furry Machine if he was able to make me a full suit, and he was like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, will you be able to potentially make it in time for Anthony New England, which was in February, and at this time, when all this kind of fell apart, it was in September. And he was like, oh yeah, I can totally do that, that's not a problem. So February came around, and he didn't start my suit, at all. And I kept kind of asking him to I kept asking him, I was like, hey, are you going to be able to do it for Annie? If not, it's okay, just let me know. And he was like, oh yeah, I can totally do it, it's not a problem. Anywho, so there was a lot of miscommunication on his part, and I don't want to, I don't like throwing fursuit makers and stuff like that on the bus because, it's not easy being a fursuit maker. But at the same time, I asked him a lot if he would be able to finish it for this date, and he didn't. And his kind of excuse for it was oh, I completely forgot. Even though I messaged him, I think at least I don't want to sound crazy kind of thing, but I messaged him just kind of being hey, how are things going? Just kind of normal conversation. Just Kiwi. Probably once every 2 weeks or so, kind of once 2018, once the new year came in. And yeah, so that's kind of how that happened. And then he made a post in a Telegram group that we have with everyone who's getting Furry Machine suits, and there was someone wanting their suit done for Eurofurence, and I think it was Eurofurence. Anywho, so he posted, he was like, hey, can I put this person to the top of the queue? And I was like, no, because I've been waiting for over a year now. My deadline is now passed. I asked you to do this for me and you didn't even do it for me, so why should I let you do it for someone else, kind of thing. Kiwi wants to be part of this, apparently. She's like, there's so much fur going on. So yeah, so that didn't happen, so I was a little bit PO'd, but I was like, it's fine, whatever, just, whenever you can, do my suit. So throughout the time, I kind of got whips-ish. This is the biggest part with Furry Machine that things kind of fell through, is that if I wanted something to happen or to find updates, I usually had to message him. So I was like, hey, how's the head going along? Hey, how far are you along with this? Blah, blah, blah. How are things going? Blah, 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 blah. It was usually kind of normal conversation. And then he would kind of send me things. So I kind of had to push him to give me updates and to kind of do work. And so I eventually got whips of the head and things looked really great. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah, I finished your bodysuit. Oh yeah, I finished the tail. Oh yeah, I finished the hand paws. There was no whips whatsoever. He was just oh my god, I finished this. And I was like, excuse me, I haven't seen any whips whatsoever. And I don't want to say I'm an easy person to work with, but if you send your commissioner whips, especially when they're paying you to do a service, it makes things 200 times easier, because when you actually finish the product, you don't have to go back and change so many different things. I'll just say I was really lenient when he showed me. He literally one day was like, oh yeah, I finished the head, and then a couple weeks later he was like, oh yeah, I finished the entire suit. And I was like, what the fuck? But one of the biggest things was he made me a tail, and it wasn't this tail here. It was kind of if I can do my hand here, it was kind of it's almost kind of like shepherdy kind of thing. Like it hung down. It's like this tail here that I had. This tail was made by like Pancake Corgi, and I'm gonna use this as like a reference later. But yeah, so this tail was made by Pancake Corgi, and you can kind of see how it's like curved like this, and that's how I wanted it when I commissioned it. So Furry Machine made me a tail, and it was like that, but like 200 times bigger than this, and it was thick and it was heavy. So like I looked at it and I was like, no, like I can't do that. So I was like, I need you to fix the tail because that's like insane. So he went ahead and he made this, and I'm gonna kind of go ahead with the good parts of the suit first before I dive into the parts that like really kind of ruined this experience for me. And like all I really want when I commission fursuit makers is communication. Like if one day you're like, yeah, I'm sick, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, like I understand, just tell me. Like I'm very, very chill. Like I understand like fursuit making is not easy. But if you don't communicate with your commissioners, they have no idea what you're doing, and you're just leaving them behind. So anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead with the good things, and then I'll kind of dive into the bits that aren't so good. So the biggest thing that I love are like the feet paws here. So everything in the suit is lined, including like the hand paws, and the head on the inside's lined. So the feet paws are like my favorite. So they're almost built like sock paws, but they have very sturdy bottoms. So you can, I'll get my foot in it. Hold on here. Ooh. I'll just kind of show you guys. So that's the foot there. So you can kind of like get on your toes here, and you still have like really good balance. So I can like stand up like that, and my like legs cracking, and it's cute. Like they're cute little paws, and that's what I asked for, was like kind of like smallish, ferally kind of paws, because I'm not a big person. So if you give like big ol' feet paws, it looks really like clunky and clownish. So I was like, just tiny little baby paws. And they're really nice fabric. Has like a little logo on it too there, which is nice. So, but yeah, no, the feet paws are amazing. Super good like breathability in them for like your feet, because feet. And I like the bottom material because it's not that foam. It's like this really hard kind of. It's almost like what's on the bottom of most shoes, anyways. So it's really nice. But yeah, so those are the feet. Which I enjoy. And so another thing is with the head. So when I first commissioned him, I only asked for a static jaw. So static jaw, if it was a static jaw, it would just kind of sit like that. But he thought I wanted a moving jaw, so he gave me a moving jaw, and that was kind of the biggest thing with like the miscommunication. Like, I sent him all this information like a year ago. I was like, this is how I want it. These are a bunch of references that you can base things off of. Just go for it and keep me updated. So he kind of just like, for some reason, thought it was one way and it wasn't. So there was a lot of miscommunication there. But anywho, so with the head, things I really like the eyes. They have like really nice movement to them. I like the head shape. It's like kind of like it's very African wild doggy, because a lot of people, because African wild dogs' faces themselves are kind of like foxes, minus like the super long like nose kind of thing. They're very like small and stuff. So he did a really, really good job with that. And there's a lot of, so the head itself, let's see if I can open it up here. You might not be able to see, but there's this is something that I'm not used to, because so the head is a foam base, but it's built like a resin base. So the head itself, the only part that's foam is the front here. And so usually with foam bases, you kind of have the entire like head base carved kind of thing to a little bit back here. So like here, I'll grab like juniper for like reference here. So the head part, it's all here. It's very, very thin foam. Has like a lot of like durability, at least from what I know from now, I don't know how durable it actually is. I tried to get some comments from other people who commissioned Furry Machine, but a lot of them didn't say a whole lot, so I was like, ugh. But yeah, so it's super duper lightweight. Like, this thing's probably like maybe 5 pounds. Meanwhile, like other heads like this is a Phoenix Wolf suit. This was a fursuit that I bought off a friend. She's an old Phoenix Wolf suit, so it's not her current style or anything like that, but it's a lot heavier, and that's just like size of foam that you use and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so he's super duper lightweight, so I can do anything in him, and there's a lot of breathability, mostly because of the movable jaw, so you can see that there. I haven't yet mastered how to do the moving jaw when I'm in suit, just because, as I said, like, it's a very, very new style for me. I've owned fursuits, I've owned 3 or 4 other fursuits, and they've all been kind of like your stereotypical, like, bulky foam style, super comfy, but they've been a lot heavier, and this one's very lightweight, very airy, that I can like move around in, so it's definitely something that I need to get used to. But yeah, no, he's super cute. I don't have any complaints really about the head. There's like a little like scar marking there. But yeah, so just kind of like inside the head. The mouth is one of the biggest things that I'm trying to like get used to and figure out if it's just like me being like, I don't know how I feel about this being a moving jaw, because I'm not used to those. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other things that I genuinely enjoy. I like the shape of the hands. I'll get to other parts about the hand paws in a second. The bodysuit, I like the belly of the bodysuit. The zipper hides pretty well down here, but like, I kind of take accountability for the fur type that was used, because I sent in specific fur types to use, and maybe partially the reason why some of this kind of like fell through is because he wasn't used to this type of fur where it's like, so it's like ticked, so the tops of the fur is different than what the base is. So if you shave it, if you shave away the top layer, you get like all these white spots or lighter areas. So that being said, I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty parts. So first thing, we'll go with the paws. So the hand paws here, all of this is just like fabric paint. It's not sewn in, nothing like that. The hand paws, they're kind of wonky. I wish the main paw pad here was actually like stuffed, and maybe even the fingers were stuffed so that there was actually some like movement in it. Inside the hand paws, they're pretty comfy. Like, they have lining in them. They're cute, like they don't have a lot of movement to them, but like, I mean, like, I just wish the paw pads were constructed more detailed. And that being said, like, I don't need each individual piece to be, like, I really don't care about the fabric paint part. I just wish that it was more like stylized, other than just like these kind of like flat pieces of fabric and stuff, so that they actually kind of have some character to them. And yeah, and the hand paws are a little bit, I think it's foam that he used, but it's a little bit hard. I can definitely wear that in over time and get it more softer, so that it doesn't feel like, like a brick kind of thing. So like I'm doing this and they're like not even moving. So yeah, so that's, it's like, it's good sturdy foam, but at the same time, when it's hand paws, you kind of want hand paws to be squishy. If not, you just kind of feel like you're like touching a brick. I'll leave the biggest part to last. So when I kind of mentioned before that I told him I wanted a tail that'd be smaller than this one and a different shape, and he made this. So biggest problem with this so I'm going to compare a lot of the suit to this tail that was made for me by Pancake Corgi, mostly for like a couple different reasons. One, as you can see the shaving style on it, we'll go back to this in a second here, and you can also see kind of the details that they did in it, as in you can see where they shaved it so that it looks like it's an actual pattern. And then with the tail that Furry Machine made, he just like cut it in a circle kind of thing. So it doesn't have that character to it. It's very rushed in my opinion. Biggest pet peeve is right here is the belt loop. It's just a big hole tied in, and this tail weighs more than the head. Like, you can, like, it's all foam. Like, it's foam cord in it, which, I mean, is nice if you need it to be, like, a very specific shape. But I just wanted it smaller than this tail so that I would have something